Hello everybody, Merry Christmas and welcome to week 45's week in review here of teaching myself how to draw on this channel. As usual, we will start with my figures. I was thinking about what I wanted to say, and as usual, there's not really anything that's coming to mind aside from I think I might have mentioned before that I have issues with kind of foreshortening of the body. I think it's easier for me to understand when like an arm or a leg is kind of coming a little toward the camera, like this one here, for example, right? He's kind of reaching toward, and then the forearm is like kind of in front of the, what is this called? The bicep here, so it's all overlapping under here, right? That kind of makes sense, but when a figure is kind of leaning forward or leaning backward, it's a little more difficult. So like this kind of thing, right? Heading away from the camera or heading toward the camera, this kind of thing, you know, where it's like heading down but then the spine comes this way. That sort of stuff is a little confusing to me. So I think what I'm going to practice this coming week is perspective, or not perspective, foreshortening. And I might do some extreme angles too. Maybe mess with like the focal length and just kind of play around. And because I haven't really thought about foreshortening too much, aside from just stuff like this, right? So like with arms and legs, I haven't really thought about it in terms of like kind of bigger masses. I've only thought about it with arms and legs coming toward like this. So I'm going to try and do that sort of thing, you know? Because it's difficult when this torso kind of hides part of the pelvis and behind in here, right? It's difficult for me to visualize that sort of thing, or when there's like a lean coming forward. So I think that's what I'm going to focus on just a little bit next week. Aside from that, my figures are fine, as usual. I have nothing to say, right? Sometimes I've been noticing the arms have been kind of breaking. I don't know if this is how they would normally look, but I've been in some poses where the arms are kind of like flat on the ground or something. I'm trying to think of keeping them a little more straight. Like there's one today. Where's that one? Yeah, these arms. It's hard to think about how the arms themselves kind of should be. Should they be really straight? I don't really know. That's just something I noticed today, right? That I haven't thought about yet, so I don't even know what to say about it, but yeah, anyway, that's my figures. I think that'll do. Let's look at what I drew this week. So the first thing I did was practice some hair. I actually drew a lot more than this. I erased some of it and like redrew it or whatever. I was just kind of doodling, and I kept some of these, so I just kind of brought in one of these 3D heads from one of these ones, and just kind of used them as a base, and was thinking about how to mainly I was focusing on the bangs and kind of the side hair here. And what I learned is that what I was doing before is I would usually think of the bangs kind of coming from one point like this. Maybe if I make my brush a little smaller, kind of all coming to one point. But what I realized is that I can kind of extend the bangs to like maybe like here or something. So that way they flow a little more naturally. They aren't all kind of converging to one central point. That's how I used to do them, and it didn't really work that well. So I kind of learned that. And then also this thing, thinking about how do you explain this? Kind of like if this is the top of the hair here, like the front face, there's a point where it kind of curves and you're seeing the inner face of the hair, right? Kind of like if you think of hair as like a ribbon, if this is one side and then this is the other side here, there's a point where it kind of twists as it's coming around the side, and then the bangs kind of overlap a little bit here. I was trying to figure out how to do that a little better. So you could see I drew it a few times, I have the bangs kind of coming over, and then this underside visible. Thinking of it like a, almost like this was kind of helpful for me, you know? You know what I mean? So you have like the underside and then like the top hair, right? And then I was just trying to do some crazy twisty stuff. I think all of this was drawn from reference, from like a how to draw hair book. I can't really remember if I did any on my own, but yeah, it was pretty fun. I still feel like I need more practice with hair, but I don't want to like specifically study it. I want to just kind of eventually pick up a little something here and there, right? I think another thing I struggle with is kind of the outer contour, specifically around the top of the head. How to make this part interesting. I don't really know how to do that. How much to raise it, how to like add volume properly. So that's another thing that I'm kind of, it's in the back of my mind. And then maybe, you know, partly through, or what am I trying to say? Maybe I'll pick up something. I can't even remember what I'm talking about anymore. So let's move on. Today, I started a holiday drawing here. So this is day 1. I spent 5 days on it. I was drawing Nene from Hololive, because that's all I draw, Hololive characters. But I wanted to do, you can see I kind of have the perspective a little angled. I thought this perspective was really cool. I had it originally pretty flat, and it was kind of boring. And then I tested it around, like rotating it a little bit, and I realized that it looked better just one click to the side. So I decided to kind of tilt everything at the last minute, and I think it really worked. So this is day 1 here. And then day 2, just a little bit of cleaning up. I raised up this fireplace to kind of match the, what do you call it, the floor a little better, set it into the background a little more. And then just tidying up some of the hair and the face and stuff. It's still very rough. Day 3 here, pretty much clean the character. But you can see the background still has tons of work to do. So this one was a lot of fun. Adding the shadows, simple backgrounds here. I'm trying to think if there's anything I struggled with this one. I don't really think there was. Like usually I get held up, and then here's the final version. Usually I get stuck somewhere, and I kind of take forever doing some things here and there. I think the star might be a little too, I wanted to blur it a little more, you know, but it's fine. I didn't really get held up anywhere is my point. I tried to draw fire on this day, but I couldn't figure it out. So I deleted it, and then I just found like a fire brush. And so I did a bit of cheating there. But yeah, I don't really have anything to say with this one. I'm trying to think of like what I struggled with, because usually what I like to do is take something I struggled with on the big drawing I did, and then practice that at the start of the next week, but there wasn't really anything, which is why I think I want to do some practice based on my figures, like the foreshortening stuff, because I feel like nothing really jumped out at me with this one. I could have done a little more like folds and stuff, detailing on like the maybe some texture work, but I don't know, it's fine. I'm pretty happy with this one. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, do I? Not really. So yeah, that's my week in review. Well, that's kind of cool. So yeah, thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas. Once again, we'll be back next week with another week in review, hey? Yippee! Cut.